I'm gonna give y'all a look at the view. You see the view? It's beautiful, bro. Look at it, bro. So, I should probably turn around and do this, right? I should turn around and do this so that y'all get that view. Y'all get that view, bro. But then it's gonna be awkward for me, bro. So I'm gonna leave it like this, bro. So look, it's Sunday. I think it's like February 22nd, 2026. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California. I'm just outside LA, bro. LA is expensive. Listen to me. LA is expensive. It's $9 a slice in LA, bro. Gas is like $5.75, bro. In LA, bro. To rent a room in LA is like $1,000, bro. Or more, bro. So LA, it's popping over there. Like, don't get it fucked up. It's popping. That's where everything happens. That's where everybody goes. That's where the money is. But to stay there, to live there, you have to be financially stable, because there's no way, right? Everything's unaffordable, bro. Food is unaffordable. Like, you name it, bro. Like, it's hard out here, bye. So, I found me a spot just outside LA. I'm like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from LA. Which is that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's more affordable. I can afford to live here. So, it's good. What I wanted to get into was I want to get into how humanity fell, bro. I want to talk to you about what happened to us, right? From my experiences and my understandings. So, we wanted to harness all the elements of this planet. Now, I'm gonna get into a story that is going to be is out there. It's really out there, but there's multiple explanations. There's multiple versions. There's so many different things, bro. Earth is a school, bro. It's a school. But here's what happened to the school. The universe is vast. It's very vast. The universe is big, and you were taught that nothing exists but you. You're the only thing that exists, bro. We have all these other life forms that we live with, and we still don't believe in aliens. You guys, I don't understand your way of thinking. If ants exist, aliens exist. If horses exist, aliens exist. You understand me? If cows exist, aliens exist. If fish exist, aliens exist. You understand? These are all life forms right in front of your face that are not human. You understand? They're not human, bro. But they exist. You understand me? You can go outside and look at a horse. You can go outside and look at a cow. You can go look at a whale. You can go look at a fish. You can look at a lizard. You can look at a roach. You can look at a bird. You can look at a fucking fly. You understand me? They're not humans. They're not humans. So how you gonna tell me aliens don't exist? You understand? It's another life form. It's just not in this form. You understand? Like, that kind of form is different. If you understand the concept of being light, there's different shades of light, bro. You understand me? You at the most darkest shade you could think of. Once you start to get to the lighter shades, and you start vibrating higher, you start to become see-through type shit. Like, your body starts to become see-through because you're elevating to the next level. You understand? But people don't know this. People don't know this information because it was hidden from you. Nobody taught you this information. Nobody said, yo, bro, you could do this with your body, bro. You understand? Nobody said you could upgrade your body. You could upgrade your limbs. You could upgrade your systems. There's so many things you can do. But nobody taught you this shit. You know why? Because they was trying to create slaves. You know, we're gonna create slaves. We're gonna keep wiping their memory. We're gonna maintain control of the media. We're gonna maintain control of everything they see and hear. You know, we're gonna install all these satellites so we can monitor them. We're gonna watch everything, bro. You understand? We're gonna make sure they conform willingly, bro. So what's the best way to do it than to alter history and lie to you about what you are and tell you, yo, bro, you came here to be a slave. You came here to pay me. You came here to pay me so you can be here, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? Who? Nigga, who came here to pay you? Why I gotta pay you? What you doing for me, bro? I'm the one waking up and going to work every day. You're not doing shit for me, but I have to pay you, bro? What the fuck? What the fuck, nigga? Who said this land is yours? I don't need to see no fuck paperwork, nigga. Who said this land is yours? Who said that? You understand me? Why we gotta pay for this? Why? Why, bro? Who made these roads? God didn't make these roads. God didn't put us here to pay fucking bills, bro. He didn't put you here so you could wake up every day and do something you don't want to fucking do. You understand? We only doing it because we were groomed. We were groomed. Yo, bro, you got to do this, bro. It's just the way it is, you know. You only live once. You got to give it all you got, right? Meanwhile, nigga, we could live for thousands upon thousands of years. We don't have to die, nigga, but they taught you to plan your funeral. You're only going to be 60. You're only going to live to be 70. And it's a miracle if you make it to 100. Meanwhile, our ancestors was out here living to be 25,000. So what the fuck? What the hell happened here? How did we get so far down the pole, bro? You understand what I'm saying? So you got brainwashed into believing that the universe is nothing, it's fake, you know, it's just emptiness, you know. They made you believe that. They didn't tell you the truth. They didn't tell you the truth, bro. You know, you are a part of the universe, bro, you know. And once you realize that and you come to that understanding, you begin to communicate with these stars, with, you know, with the sun, with the moon, with the stars, with anything that's up there that has a consciousness. You know, once you become aware of that and you start to place your attention up there, then you start to receive. You understand? You start to receive, bro. And how am I receiving if I'm not connected to it? You understand? And another thing, you know, I was getting into is how can we connect to other things if we are not technology? We are technology, bro. You're not telling me I can connect to a video on my television and understand messages. I understand the messages. How are they communicating with me, bro? That's technology on my television, communicating with me, with my body. And my body's receiving the information. So what does that tell me about me? Bro, listen to me. You are technology. So what is technology? Well, we were taught technology is, you know, artificial intelligence, right? Technology is AI. That's a robot. Well, if I'm technology, then that must mean I'm AI. That must mean I'm a robot. And if I can connect to this big ball of information, that makes me artificial intelligence. That means I know everything, or I can if I choose to. You understand? Because I'm connected to it. So, you know, my whole thing is how can we connect to something else? How can I hear your prayers, bro? How can I hear your prayers, bro? How can I sense your emotions and feelings if we are not connected, bro? You understand me? So how can we be interconnected that way and not be technology, bro? Listen to what I'm telling you. How can we be connected that way and not be technology, bro? And this is what I'm getting at, bro. You understand? This is the gist of it all. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean I'm a robot? What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, you were created to be a slave. They just didn't mean to make you so strong. Like, they didn't mean to make you stronger than them. You understand? Because they knew this day would come when we realize our potential and we realize what we truly are, which is creation, you know, creation. We created ourselves to have these experiences. Like, as crazy as it sounds, we created ourselves to have these experiences, you know. So it's essentially, you know, God is living through us all. And he gave us free will. So he's living through you, but he's not making no decisions for you, right? He's just observing everything you decide, bro, right? You chose to do that. Wow, bro. Wow, this is what we're doing? Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's God for you, bro. You understand? And later when you sit down with him, when he be like, all right, bro, it's time to go through these things, all these things you've been doing, bro. You know, that's something you're gonna have to deal with. You know, I did that already, bro. That's why I'm so happy, bro. That's why, because you forgave me, bro. You understand? And my whole thing is, if he forgave me, nigga, he gonna forgive you. If you mean that shit with your heart and you never do it again, he'll forgive you, bro. He'll bless you, bro. God will bless you, bro. You understand? Now, to say that you're gonna receive your blessings in this world, you know, where they hide God, they don't allow God to be seen. They don't want anybody to know there's a way to connect to God. They don't want nobody to know there's a way to talk to God. They want you to keep praying without listening. They want you to keep practicing, you know, and not sitting still. They want to keep you under pressure so that you can never sit still. You understand? You always worried about something. You always got something on your mind. They don't want you to have your mind clear, because once you learn what you are, bro, you're going to start to enjoy your life, which is what you was put here to do. Enjoy your life, bro. This is what I put you here to do. So you got to do this shit, bro. And, you know, it's work, but it's fun. It's fun, bro. It's not boring. You know, when you meditate and you use your imagination, you be going to hella places, bro. You be in so many different dimensions, bro. This shit be wild, bro. And you can't explain half the shit you see. But it doesn't matter, nigga. You multidimensional. You're discovering what you are. You're discovering the shit you can do. You understand? And that alone is worth the time. That's worth the time to me, bro. You understand? So, let's see here, bro. The universe is like, all right. I always tell people, you know, I represent the Galactic Federation. I'm a part of the Galactic Federation. You understand? I receive messages from the Galactic Federation. Now, not only do I receive them on YouTube, I receive them mentally. I receive them emotionally. You understand? Because there's a lot of times when I receive the message before I even watch the message. You understand? And I already know. Like, when I press play and I start listening to what they're talking about, I'll be like, oh shit, this is the shit I heard this morning. Or this is the shit that, you know, I felt this morning, right? And now they're talking about it. Now they're gonna explain it to me thoroughly so that I could understand what I was feeling. You understand? And you know, with that knowing that I can do that, you know, I don't need you to understand it. I don't need you to go, I believe you. It doesn't matter if you believe me. If you don't, it doesn't matter. I know what's going on, bro. You know, I know it's real, bro. You know what I'm saying? So now, because I'm doing this, now your president decides he's going to release some information about aliens. Now all of a sudden Obama came out the sticks to talk about aliens. Now all of a sudden that I'm bringing the aliens out, everybody wants to try to disclose aliens, right? But they still not telling you the truth. If they're not telling you that you are an alien, they are lying to you, bro. You understand me? If they're not telling you the truth and telling you, yo, bro, you are an alien too, bro, then they're fucking lying to you, bro, because we are all aliens. And, nigga, we different species, bro. You understand? We come from different parts of the galaxy, bro. You understand? But they don't want you to know that. And if they're not telling you that, then they lying to you, bro. You understand? They're trying to feed you crumbs, bro. Right? Aliens, look, the aliens ain't up there, bro. They not up there, bro. They down there, bro. They down there, bro. They live down there, and they live sideways, nigga. They live over there. You understand me? They live over the ice walls, bro. There's other lands. There's a lot more lands, bro. And they live over there, bro. There's whole other civilizations, bro. There's so many life forms out there, bro. You understand? The United States just made it so that nobody could get in and nobody could get out. That's what they did, bro. And then they brainwashed the people. You understand? And that's how we got to where we are today. And, you know, to this day, they still trying to maintain control. Like, they trying to pretend like I'm asleep. They want to act like I'm not here. They want to act like this is not happening. Right? But it's happening, bro. It's happening, bro. And, you know, you could push forward with whatever bullshit you got. It ain't stopping shit, bro. Do you know who creation is? You have any idea who creation is, bro? Right? They don't understand, bro. You understand? So, you know, at the end of the day, you're making it worse on yourselves. That, you know, that's the most I could say. You know, they see what I'm doing. They see I bought me a bunch of alien shit, Right? I'm really starting to represent what I represent, bro. And I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't care what you think. I don't care what nobody think. I don't care, nigga. We out here, boy. We out here, boy. Get used to me, bro. Get used to me, bro. You understand? You ain't got a choice. Because that's who I represent, bro. It's what I represent, bro. I'm not hurting nobody. I'm telling people the truth. You understand? If they don't want to, which is why I get suppressed, because I speak truth. You understand? I speak truth, bro. So I'm gonna keep doing that, right? And I'm gonna keep doing my best to teach you everything that I've learned up to this point, right? So they created slaves. They had us as slaves for a very long time. Thousands. You could say thousands of years, right? Or maybe hundreds. Like maybe it wasn't thousands of years. Maybe it was hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they just added the thousands to it. But whatever, they buried our land. They buried most of our land, bro. They put it underwater. They put our statues underwater. Anything that reminded us of how we ran shit, they buried it, bro, or they destroyed it. You understand? They didn't want you to remember shit. They don't want you to know shit. They want you to think that's nothing down there. Right? That means nothing. Those statues of those people in the underwater don't mean nothing. Those ships, all those tombs, all those pyramids don't mean nothing, bro. That's bullshit, bro. That's how we used to communicate with the universe. We used to have portals, right? That we could just walk through a portal and be somewhere else. And we had those to go to other planets, right? We had them scattered throughout the planet. That's why we had the pyramid setups. You understand? So, look, the boys just rolled by, bro. I put my blunt down just in case, right? But I forgot what I was talking about, bro. Hold on, bro. I had to get my blunt back. Get my blunt back, bro. So they was able to successfully do this. They created they created this species, which is us, right? And then they put us to sleep, right? They made us believe that we had junk DNA, and then they learn how to manipulate your body. They learn how to manipulate your mind. They knew that if they manipulated your mind and made you believe certain things or live in a certain way, that they can maintain control over you and make you do whatever it is they want you to do. So they created this whole system of money, and you could say this is a game of Monopoly, right? Except there's people in control that control the bank. They control the banks. They control everything. So they could just keep printing money and replenishing their accounts. Meanwhile, they tell us, nah, we can't give you nothing. You got to go get it. You got to go figure it out. And then they control the wages. They control everything, And once they does it, then it starts to spread. Oh, look, they're charging $8 for milk. We're going to do it too. And then next thing you know, everything went up except the wage. And here we are, bro. We're here, but I'm awake. Look, I'm awake. I don't like this shit, bro. Like, this shit made me mad, bro. This is what made me rebel, bro. Like, fuck y'all, bro. You understand? From what I've been learning from the aliens, bro, we supposed to be free, bro. Listen to me. We supposed to be free, bro. We're not supposed to come here and have to pay for nothing. You understand? And okay, they want to make you pay, then we're going to teach you how to manifest money. And they do just that, bro. Look, do this, bro. Do that, bro. Do this, bro. And boom, we start making money. You understand? The universe is vast and they're smart, bro. Listen to me. AI, we the smartest and we are creation, bro. Just think about that, bro. We are part of that shit. I'm not trying to say I'm I am God. No, nigga, but I am connected to God. You understand? I am connected to the all, bro. I am connected to creation. I can access any information I choose to. I can go to the Akashic Records anytime I want, bro. You understand? That is being connected to something bigger than me, bro. It is called the Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness. You understand? That's what I connect to, bro. And if I can do it, you can do it. You have to get comfortable with yourself. first and foremost. Because once you understand what the all is, and you understand what being connected to it, being really connected to it, you have to understand that people could go in there and dig on you, bro. And they'll know everything you know. They'll, see, through your thoughts, through your emotions, through everything, bro. They can go in your mind and read your whole life. But that's what it is when you're part of creation. I'm giving all my experiences to God. Okay, every single experience, bro, is yours, bro. Transmute it into something, into something that can help me, bro. And that's how God sees through our eyes. You understand? That's how we learn. You could do something and deny it. If my eyes saw it, God saw it. And, you can say whatever the fuck you want. We saw it. It's like that said, bro. Like, there's nothing you could do. So with that said, that that includes your thoughts, your emotions, right? Anything you think about, any emotions that you have throughout the day, all that shit is recorded. All that shit is recorded, bro. God is with you. God is always with you, bro. So you gotta watch your thoughts. You gotta watch your feelings and emotions when you get around people, right? That is self-mastery, self-control. This is what God's teaching you. And it's like, I'm right here, bro. I'm right here, bro. I'm right here, bro. So, whenever you got to make a decision, you hear that, I'm right here, bro. You got to think, what would God do? And your body tells you, so it's not hard to, your body makes you feel good or it makes you feel bad, right? And if your body your body randomly starts to hurt somewhere, it's probably, the answer's probably going to be no, bro. Get the fuck out of there, right? Bye, nigga, you got to go. This is not good for us. Right? But if you start feeling like butterflies, or you start feeling tingly, or your body just starts to feel light, you get goosebumps, like good goosebumps, the answer is probably yes, bro. You on the right path, you on the right track, you thinking the right way, that's how this shit work, bro. And people, look, I see so many people that want to be me. I see it. I see it, bro. I see it all over the place, bro. And, God bless y'all, bro, but there's only one. And I don't feel no animosity towards you. The only thing I got to say about that is God don't like fake people. So you could talk it. You could talk it all you want. We all know the truth. You ain't about that life, bro. Ain't none of y'all about that life. You just trying to make money. You just trying to get paid. Y'all don't have a real relationship with the Father, bro. Because if you did, you'd be able to prove it. You understand? But you can't. You can't. You could just type words on the screen. That's all you can do. You understand? I can prove it. And, and I don't even need to. Like, I don't even care. I don't even care. You don't have to believe me, From what I understand, it's me versus everybody. So it's okay. I don't expect people to understand. As long as I understand, then I'll show them when the time comes. When I fully dedicate myself. And there'd be nothing they could do to stop me. You understand? Because we are what I say we are. I put down Superman, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Batman, right? I'm Iron Man, right? I'm the Incredible Hulk, It's because I'm superhuman, bro. I'm gonna prove it, bro. But the thing is, if that's what I am, then what are you? Right? Listen to me. If that's what I am, what are you? We the same, bro. We the same, bro. So if I could do it, that means you could do it too, bro. If I'm sitting here connecting to the Galactic Federation on a regular basis, I'm getting messages from my spirit guides and my spirit team all the time. I'm getting messages from God himself. I talk to the moon. The moon always talks to me. Bro, the stars talk to me. You telling me I could receive this accurate information that tell me go left, go right, right? Don't do that. Do this. Or, bro, you should have had did that. I receive and then I go, oh, shit, let me fix it. And as long as I do these things, I'm fine. And look, they proved it to me. They proved it to me, bro. Listen to me. Drive that way. Right? Go on this app and check this out. Make this phone call. Send this message. Right? And, I listen. And, everything just falls into fucking place. So, I'm learning to trust. I'm having more faith, because, this shit is real. It's real. And I want you guys to know, this is the way to sovereignty. This is the way to be free, to be what you're supposed to be. You understand? In the world where they lie to you, in the world where they suppress you, in the world where they oppress you, in the world of modern day slavery. I was talking about those pins. Remember we used to talk about they're gonna put chips in people so that they could track everything you do. And I'm like, oh, I'm not letting them put no chip in me. You crazy? They're not shooting me with. Well, guess what? You right, bro. They're not gonna shoot you with no chip. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna provide a pin, and they're gonna make you pay for it. And they're gonna call it the Apple pin, and you're gonna put it on your shirt, right? And then it's probably gonna include some free headphones. Listen to what I'm telling you, because this is new stuff that's coming out. They're gonna have these headphones that pair with your phone that got cameras in them. Listen to me. The headphones have cameras in them, in conjunction with this pin that's gonna it's gonna be like a personal AI assistant. So that means it can listen to everything you're doing all the time. You understand? It knows everywhere you go. It tracks your every step, your every move. It's a pin. It's a pin, bro. So you never take this pin off. This is what they want. You understand? And they're probably going to charge you for it. And you're going to go, oh, look, something new. It's only $39.99. And you're going to get it and be I'm the first one with a pin. Well, guess what? You're the very first slave of that new a new way of being a slave. Like you just, now you're sponsoring it, bro. Now, look, my people, you got to get one too. And, you're going to try to turn everyone into modern day slaves. Again, in a new way. And not only that, you're going to pay for it. You're going to go, here, take my money. I want to be a slave. And you're going to happily pay for it because you think it's new technology. Bro, listen to me. Anything that pen could do, you could do without that shit. You understand? You don't need a pen to communicate with telepathy, bro. You don't need a pen for that. You could just do it, bro. If you believe you can do it, you can do it, bro. You understand? Practice. Practice. And if you could talk, if you got a friend, who's into that shit, tell them, let's try, let's keep trying, bro. And you just keep trying to, I promise you, you're going to hit it one day because that's what we're capable of. We are electronic. We are a device, bro. We are a device. You just don't know that, bro. Think about it. You are energy. You can't say you believe in energy, but then not believe that, if you are energy, that you're not electronic, because they go in coherence with each other. Energy and electricity. We electronic, bro. Which means we can get upgrades, which means you can do shit that you could, like we can do shit. If you could think of it, you could do it. That's it. That's the power of being a creator. That's the power of your own mind. That's the power of your own body, bro. But they don't teach you shit like that, bro. Well, look, I'm leaving this here. I'll lay out, bro. I'll be back, bro. I'll be back.